Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Now, this is going to be linked to, we spoke about the mystery of Pergamon last time, and we didn't, and there's much more, but this is linked to it, but I believe it's going to open up an end time understanding. I'm going to show you some images by the end of this that I believe are going to open some things that are make things very clear. First of all, let's go back to the first abomination, desolation, which it all comes from. And that Jesus, Messiah, speaks of will happen again. Happens in the time of Antiochus when he sets up this abomination on the Temple Mount. He defiles it. He slaughters a pig, sets up, what is it? He sets up an image of Zeus, remember? And it's he converts the temple from a holy temple into a pagan temple. He converts the altar from an altar of God into the altar of Zeus. So he defiles the whole thing, has a war against Israel, almost wipes them out, but like everything else, God keeps them and they prevail. Then the Roman armies come in 70 AD and they destroy the temple in the name of their god, who is Jupiter. Well, Jupiter is Zeus, the same thing. And remember, we trace this all back. You go all the way back to Baal. It's like the same god. It's just the mass change, but it's the same principality. Right. So they destroy. They actually offer up sacrifices to Zeus on the Temple Mount. Another abomination. When they do, they brought in their Roman eagles, and Josephus says they offered up at the eastern gate sacrifice. So it's this defiling. There's always this war over the holy place. And there's a war over Israel, war over that Temple Mount. Well, that's not the end of it. In the next century, you have the Emperor Hadrian. Hadrian, which actually his name means the Dark One, he decides, God says, Jerusalem is the place where I'm going to put my name. Well, Hadrian decides I'm going to rename Jerusalem. I'm going to change the name of Jerusalem, and it's going to be named after Jupiter. So he's going to convert Jerusalem into a pagan city. So now he says he's going to do this, and he says also I'm going to put an altar and temple on the Temple Mount to Jupiter. So here's another defilement going on. Well, the Jewish people go up in arms, literally. There's a revolt called the Bar Kokhba Revolt. Ends up, Hadrian destroys hundreds of thousands of Jewish people, cities, bans them from Jerusalem, from ever coming to Jerusalem, except one day a year they can come on the 9th of Av when their temple was destroyed. That's it. And he burns the scrolls of the law and all. It's like a replay of what Antiochus did. It's a replay of the abomination. And so he ends up putting up the temple on the temple of Jupiter on the Temple Mount. Wow. He does that. And not only does he rename the city, very interesting, he renames the land. He comes up with a name that is going to drive the Jewish people out and cut off the connection of Jewish people to Israel. And the word he comes up with is Palestine. And so that is the origin of Palestine, meaning the land of the Philistines. Yeah. It's their land, and it comes linked to an abomination. It comes linked to the desecration of the Temple Mount. It comes linked to a war against the Jewish people. It's a pagan war against the Jewish people. That's where you get the name Palestine, which is not biblical, or Palestina, and that becomes the name to this day that the enemy has used to try to drive the Jewish people out. Yeah. So the Jewish people are out. You have that Temple of Jerusalem. Now, when I got saved, when I came to the Lord, there was that train, and I didn't know how to get saved. And actually, by the way, I was watching the 700 Club at the time, and I was watching Ben Kinchlow and Pat Robertson at the time. As a Jewish person, you blessed me, Cahn, in these things, Ben. It's been a truly blessing. I remember those days, so I didn't know how to get saved. So I remembered from Hebrew school, God met people on the mountain. He met Moses on the mountain, met Elijah on the mountain. So I said, let me find a mountain. Right. So I find a mountain. I drive up the mountain at night, and I go up to the top, and I kneel down on a rock, and I give my life to the Lord on the mountaintop. Now, years later, I come back, I revisit that mountain on my anniversary. It's nighttime. This time I have a shofar, I have a talit, I have a Bible and a flashlight. And I find the stone, and I'm just having a great time with the Lord, and I open the Bible, and it opens up to, it says, the enemy, in Ezekiel, the enemy says, I have your mountain. I have your high place, Israel. I have your mountain. The enemy says, aha, I've got it. And that's kind of strange. I'm on a mountain, and it's reading about the enemy saying, well, the next day, I go to the congregation. Somebody's waiting on the line at the end, a woman, and he says, well, we know it's your birthday, because I got saved on my birthday, so it was my anniversary. And they say, we have a gift for you. So we bought this drawing. So she hands me a drawing, and it's a drawing of a man with a shofar and a talit standing on a mountaintop blowing the shofar. I said, well, that's weird. That was me last night. She said, really? She said, well, yeah. I said, well, I came back to the mountain where I came to the Lord. She said, really? She said, what's the mountain? I said, well, you don't know the mountain. I don't even know the mountain. I said, well, describe it. So I described where it is. And the woman says, she says, I live at the bottom of that mountain. I said, really? She says, do you know what that mountain is? I said, no, I have no idea. She said, that mountain is dedicated to Satan. I said, well, I got saved on the top of it. She said, well, that's where they all meet. That's where they have their ceremony. I said, really? I said, well, I kneeled down on this flat rock. She said, that's your altar. I got saved on that altar. And I remember, back then, I remember that at the time I looked down and I saw in graffiti on the mountain these words that made no sense, like shocking words. I couldn't understand it. It said, no Jew shall enter these sacred grounds. And I said, who on earth would write that? I mean, Nazis or what? Satan worshipers. Satan would write that.
Yeah.
Because for me, that was my sacred ground. That's when this Jew came to the Lord on that place.
Amen.
And I said,
that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So I said, well, too late, Satan. I'm already in. I came back. And the thing is that, and it hit me, and then it hit me that scripture. The enemy says, I have your ground, Israel. I have your high place. I have your mountain. And for 2,000 years, the enemy has been trying to prevent the Jewish people from coming to their high place, their mountain with Messiah, Calvary.
Yeah.
He's been saying, you can't come. You can never come to salvation, Jews. This is not for you. Not only spiritually, but for 2,000 years, he's actually had the mountain of Israel. He's had the high place. For 2,000 years, it's been in the hands of enemies. To this day, on the mountaintop to this day, you have an obstruction. You have obstructions there to prevent the temple, to prevent God's purposes from coming to pass. You've got the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is right up there, the third greatest monument in Islam, and you have the Dome of the Rock right there in the center. So the thing is that here's the first thing I want to show you. It's really part of an ancient war that goes back to the abomination desolation, and it's taking us forward to the future. Even what's on there right now. And I want to show you something. Remember I told you that Hadrian erected a temple to Jupiter. Now again, this is all the enemy. The enemy does everything he can to defile that mountain. Well, that temple of Jupiter, now remember this, the Al-Aqsa Mosque is a square, it's a rectangle. And if you go look above it is this polygon, which is the Dome of the Rock. It's a polygon. Well, I want you to see the temple of Jupiter that Hadrian set up, and then I want you to see the Dome of the Rock in there. Look on the left. On the left is the temple of Jupiter that Hadrian built. In the middle is the Al-Aqsa Mosque at the bottom and the Dome of the Rock on top. Put them together, they match up. They match, in other words, the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque are matching up on the blueprint of Hadrian's temple to Jupiter, which was a defilement of the temple. So in fact, if you go, I mean, it's like following this ancient war. If you go, and you can actually put up the next image, which just shows you a little clearer, and that you're seeing this pagan temple to defile the Temple Mount, and yet the Islamic structures are built according to that pattern, matching it. In fact, the Dome of the Rock is built on ancient pillars that were there from the Romans. Here's the question.
Okay.
Could there be any mark of the enemy, because there's always been this defilement, this war all about the Temple Mount. Could there be any mark on the Temple Mount of the enemy? And now put that image up. That same image. That image, you see the horns, you see the crooked mouth, you see the satanic image. That image is on the Dome of the Rock. That image is on the holiest place in the world. That image, the image of clearly say nobody planned it. It's just that they put the rocks and it forms that image on the Temple Mount. Now I want to show you, if you're kind of people who are watching, well, I can't be on the Dome of the Rock. Show the next image, which will actually show you the Dome of the Rock, and there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Now, what's this mystery? Why is there such a war over the Temple Mount? Well, of course, the enemy wants to stop God's purposes, wants to stop the kingdom. But there's an ancient thing that goes back, this mystery goes back to Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 27 when he talks about Lucifer from the beginning. You were there, you were the angel there. Well, interesting, what does it say? It says, he fell from heaven, and the enemy says, I will ascend, I will exalt my throne to heaven, I will sit in the place of the Most High. Well, what is that Temple Mount about? That's about the place of the Most High. I mean, it represented on earth. And it says that, it says, God says to Satan in those passages, he says, you are on my holy mountain, but I cast you off. So it's like he's been trying to get back to that holy mountain, not to praise God, but to defile it. It's almost like a revenge. Yeah. This war that is the entire world is hanging on this Dome of the Rock. The piece of it. It's all about this ancient mystery that goes back to the enemy and God. And he's been trying to. He says, "I will sit," and it says literally, God says, "You said I will sit on the mountain of the congregation." So he's trying to get back the whole thing. And yet, here's another deep thing here. What does it say in those ancient prophecies, or speaking of the enemy? It says, you were the anointed cherub. You were the anointed, not just an angel, he was a cherubim. What does that mean? What are the cherub? Where are they? The cherubs are in the place of God's presence. They guard the place of God's presence. Where is that? Where is that today? What does that represent? The Temple Mount was where you had the cherubim on the veil, cherubim on that veil, and then you actually had the cherubim on the Ark of the Covenant guarding the place of God, the cherubim. So the enemy is not just a fallen angel, he's a fallen cherubim. So he seeks to get back to the place of the cherubim, again, not to praise God, but to defile it. And it actually says in those words about Satan, it says, you defiled the sanctuary. So he's been trying to defile the sanctuary ever since. And the other thing, now here's another thing. It says that so that's where this Dome of the Rock may very well be on the Holy of Holies. Most archaeologists believe that. It's right there defiling it. That kind of brings the abomination and the Islamic thing coming together. Well, that is now, he says, you are the covering cherub. So literally now he is covering this holy place here of God's holy place. Not only that, but what was it when the cherubim were on that Ark of the Covenant? It says they stand face to face. They are face to face over the Holy of Holies. That's where they are, face to face. Now I want to show you one more image. Put up image 5. They are two faces.
Thank you for your prayers. And we want to also thank you for your financial support that helps keep this ministry broadcasting around the world.
It's going to be so action-packed over the rest of this year. So much is going to happen. It's going to be a shaking. Okay, could we write that down?
It's going to be a shaking.
There's going to be a shaking. And it's a shaking which is a warning. What you share with us, much of it was written several thousand years ago. It hasn't changed. As you study the depth of the Hebrew, and then you see it translated into the Greek, and you see Jesus Christ, the Word, He is the Word, is the same yesterday, today, and forever.
Amen.
That's what you can stand on. That's where your security is. That's where your peace is. To know this Bible. When I was in prison, I wrote out every word Jesus spoke.
Right.
I wrote it out, and then I made it full, and then I'd abbreviate it so I could memorize it. Here's the book right here. This is the actual photograph and the book made up. There's my original writing from the prison cell. This is from the words of Jesus, and this is everything Jesus said a follower of Him is, a Christian is. And then I wrote down what a Christian does, and then what a Christian does not do. Here's notes that I just scribbling notes from the pad from the prison cell. This is a Bible. It is a large print Bible. But the thing of it is, it has, and I just feel some of you really need to, and you really need to get founded on the Word. I want, in that prison, I devoured the Word. It changed my life. And so we're trying to finish Lori's house. We finished it, but we didn't build the daycare. And we found out that ladies need to be able to bring their children sometimes when they're having another baby. let's just go 45. It'll be nice. Let's do it 45,
Okay.
and I'll give you this free. Study the words of Jesus from the prison cell of Jim Baker. It says,
When you order the Bible.
when you order the Bible.
Yes.
So just you get them both.
Okay.
But and it's in this wonderful large print,
Yeah.
giant print, and
I
it's
love
and it's it's a
Red
red
letter.
letter.
Mhm.
So and it's got maps and stuff in it. But I want you to start reading this.
It's the end.
And read the you can read the red first. If you haven't read the Bible a lot, get into Jesus. Then you run everything by him. Check
Right.
with Jesus. If you get to know the voice, and that's why this book here was so important to me. I wanted to know, what does he say? My sheep know my voice.
Yes.
And I wanted to know his voice.
Right.
Well, that's when I got to over there in 3 John, where it talked, above all, God wanted you to be rich. And I knew Jesus never said, Jesus said, woe unto the rich. Jesus never talked about the love, good things being loving money, and if you'll start running everything by Jesus, it will clear up your doctrine. It will clear up your because a lot of people just say, I just don't know what to believe. This one tells me this one. Well, believe the word. And remember, Jesus Christ is the word.
Yes.
So this is, let's know the word. Can we do a know the word or offer or something?
Yeah, that's a good title.
What we'll do is we'll use this to,
Know the word.
what we'll do is any profit from this will go to build that nursery. We're trying to do that. We had another mystery that we were supposed to talk about, but we won't do that today. It's
Yeah, we can hold it.
the Yad. Yad?
The
Is that the right word?
secret of the Yod.
Yad.
Yod. It's the secret of overcoming. It's really cool, but it's in there.
So that'll be in the set.
That'll be in the
set.
album. Yes.
For $100, you're getting a lot of stuff. So we did almost everything.
Yeah.
Little highlights,
Yeah.
and they'll get it all in the book.
They'll
in
get
the,
much
the
more.
tapes.
Yes.
and all.
Much more.
And
much
then
more than
your new book. Will we introduce it?
I think
the
you
next
will.
time?
I think the next time I'm here, I'll have. Well, I will have, or I will find the book here for the first time, and I'll have my voice as well.
Yeah.
But it will be the premiere, as far as I know, as the Lord used it every other time. It will be the new book, which I'm still finishing while I'm here, but it's already has a cover, and they're getting ready to get it right on there, which will be called The Book of Mysteries. And as I said, as the Harbinger has a mystery, opens up a mystery, this is going to open up hundreds of mysteries of everything, everything.
Oh,
Of
so
everything.
exciting.
That's the
And
cover.
there
Don't
is.
order it.
It's not out.
It's
yet.
not been printed
It's not
yet.
out yet.
He's still writing
but
it.
that is what it's going to look
The
like.
mystery is where that picture came from.
That's
Somewhere.
right.
That actually, there is a mystery to where that came from. that picture, there is a mystery there.
I like it.
Yeah, so that's going to be. Next time I'm here, I'm sure we
Okay.
can give it. Yeah.
We're going to have a song, right?
goodness.
Yes.
Do we have enough singers
Yes.
and musicians
Oh.
there
Yes,
today?
we do.
Anybody to help me? I was going to pick Soon and Very Soon. We're going to see the King because it's going to happen. And remember, we do have in stock right now this Unit 3,
That's
version
right.
3 of the generator.
That's right.
And we have them. They're there. And a miracle, really, I mean, it's just a miracle that a company had ordered them. And we have so many orders coming in that people want this unit that the manufacturer said, we can have the orders at another company that we have priority anyway. So we have these now available
That's great.
to send to our people because
Yes.
they've been ordering so like
Right.
crazy. But this is the new model, and it actually has a system that charges from the sun faster
That's
than
right.
the older model did.
Yes, it really is. People are kind of thrown off by the shape of it, but it's just a new exterior between the second and the fourth model, but they've done some tweaking. It's going to be charging a lot faster, but it's still the same price. It's only $1,784.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot more than that when the new one comes out.
Yes. And it even comes with the bonus of the $500 retail value of the solar panel. And it comes with the $50 retail value of the 20-foot solar extension cord, a multi-cooking toolkit, and even some gourmet food. It's 3 days for 2 people, and it's all of this for a donation of only $1,784 to the ministry.
And everything you order, part of it all goes to keep the voice of the prophets, the PTL television network, on the air.
We will be right back after this special message.
Are you prepared to function without the power grid? We've talked at length on the Jim Baker Show many times about these dangers, and we're so excited that many of our partners have stood behind this ministry and helped to support us as we continue to carry messages like these. You know, the makers of our fuelless generator are hard at work on a brand new model, but they've released a special limited edition generator as part of a special offer. There are only a few hundred of these in the warehouse, and when they're gone, so will your chance of getting a generator for several months. Don't let what you see fool you. Under this black case is the same fuelless generator we've been offering for more than a year. It still features the incredible lithium-ion technology and can even charge just a little faster than our other generator. On the front, as you can see, there are 4 USB ports that allows you to charge your cell phone, your iPad, your iPhone, any device that requires a USB port to charge. It has 2 standard AC power outlets, so you can run your refrigerator, your freezer, or even a microwave. It can also power a big screen television, a clothes washer, and power tools, and so much more. You can also power any device that uses the Anderson connector. And by using a 12-volt car outlet, you can plug in your favorite portable cooking pots, your coolers, or even our 12-volt heating blanket. Take a look at the LCD screen here. It will show you not only how much the generator has been charged, but also the amount of wattage that is charging the generator and the amount of wattage that it's pumping out. So if the front end is your output, let's take a look at the back side. So I'm just going to flip this generator around for you. And you see, you'll notice we have one port to plug in your AC power cord, one Anderson port, and we're also going to have a key slot. Your generator will come with a set of keys that you can keep with the generator to safely power it on and off at any time. And what's neat about this generator is that you can have up to 4 solar panels connected at any time. But there's only one port, you may say. That's no problem at all. Let's take a look at the solar panel that you'll receive with this generator. It's the exact same folding panel we've been sending out with all of our generators, and the panel that you can order on its own. When you open it up, you'll see that there are 2 Anderson connectors. Using these, you can daisy chain up to 4 solar panels. Let me show you how this works. First, take the long cord from your first panel and plug it into the short cord from the second panel, like this. See? It's that easy. And you can have up to 4 of these hooked up at a time. When you do this, your generator will charge in less than 2 hours. We are so dependent on energy today. And this limited edition fuelless generator will give you the power you need when you need it the most. You can receive this limited edition fuelless generator for a donation of only $1,784 or more to the ministry. You will also receive the folding solar panel, the 20-foot solar panel extension cord, a power cord to charge this from a wall outlet, and a set of keys to turn the generator on and off. You'll also receive the 78 serving meal kit and a cooking kit as a bonus. Do not wait to order this limited edition fuelless generator. We only have a few hundred generators available, and they will not last long. So call today, 1-888-988-1588 with your donation towards this limited edition fuelless generator. Our operators will know how many are left and will help make sure you get yours. That toll-free number again is 1-888-988-1588. Please don't wait until the last minute. Call now to receive this limited edition fuelless generator. Thank you for your prayers and financial support that helps keep the PTL television network, the voice of the prophets, on the air.
I want to, everyone in the audience today, every family, I want to give you one of my prison books.
Wow.
One of my words of Jesus. So I'm going to have one for you. I'm sending over to shipping department right now, and give you all one to take home. So thank you for hanging out with us today with the rabbi, and appreciate the rabbi being here.
Yeah.
He has been a little bit under the weather, but he's just tired, wore out, and a lot of allergies going on. And you pray for the rabbi.